My friend, listen closely. There is a law greater than the law of labor, a truth deeper than the sweat of the brow. You were not born to chase, to beg, or to worry about how your next bill will be paid. You were born into divine abundance, a river that has never stopped flowing, except where you built a dam of doubt. The world has told you that money is hard to earn. But the world has forgotten the first law of spirit supply is unlimited, and it flows to the one who believes, not the one who struggles. You say, I'm tired of working so hard and never having enough. And the universe answers, so be it. Because every word you speak is a decree, every thought a command to the unseen. When you declare lack, lack becomes loyal to you. When you declare wealth, wealth races to your door. Say it now. Money comes to me easily, freely, and abundantly. Feel it, don't just speak it. Let every cell in your being believe it is already done, because in truth, it is done. There is no poverty except in consciousness. There is no shortage except in faith. The moment you release fear, your supply begins to move. The instant you let go of anxiety, your channel clears. Money, opportunities, miracles, they all begin to rush toward you, as if the heavens themselves remembered your name. You were never meant to live in scarcity. You are meant to command abundance through spiritual law, the law that says as within, so without. So stop chasing and start claiming. Stop worrying and start affirming. The richest person in the world is the one who knows that all things are already theirs. See yourself walking through life with divine confidence. Every door you knock on opens. Every need is met before you even ask. You are guided to the right ideas, the right people, the right opportunities, because you have aligned with your source, and your source never runs dry. When you give, you do not lose, you multiply. When you bless others, you bless yourself. When you are grateful, the heavens expand your cup. Say every day, I am a magnet for divine prosperity. I am one with the infinite riches of the universe. Money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways. I am free, I am rich, I am blessed. Let these words not be idle affirmations, but spiritual commands. Speak them with fire, with faith, and with finality. And when fear whispers again, when doubt creeps back in, stand tall and remind yourself, the Lord is my supply, my cup runneth over. No struggle, no scarcity, no more delay. You are stepping into a new vibration, one where you no longer chase money, because money recognizes you as its rightful owner. From this moment on, live not as a beggar of blessings, but as a channel of abundance. The struggle is over, the flow begins, and so it is. Money is not a material thing, it is a spiritual vibration. It is not paper or metal, it is energy in motion, a reflection of the thoughts you think and the beliefs you hold about your own worth. When people believe that money is something they must chase, struggle for, or fight to keep, they block the divine flow that was meant to move effortlessly through their lives. The truth is that the law of prosperity is spiritual, not material. Every coin, every note, every opportunity that comes to you is only the outer expression of an inner state of consciousness. You cannot have lasting wealth without first possessing the spirit of abundance within you. The outer world is merely a mirror, and it reflects what you believe to be true about your supply. When you believe that you are one with an infinite source, the fear of lack disappears. The divine law has already provided for every need before the need even appears. The universe is not stingy, it is overflowing with good. But man, in his ignorance, has been taught that to have money, he must labor endlessly, sacrifice joy, and compete with others. He thinks he must earn his bread by the sweat of his brow, not realizing that the sweat is not the cause of his bread, but merely the shadow of his belief in struggle. True wealth begins not in the hands but in the mind, not in the job but in the spirit. You may work diligently, yet if you secretly believe that wealth is scarce, that money is difficult to get, or that you are unworthy of success, then all your effort will lead to exhaustion instead of expansion. That is because your outer conditions can never rise above your inner conviction. Asterisk asterisk, it is the inner agreement you make with life that determines your prosperity. You are not rewarded for struggle, you are rewarded for alignment. When your heart and mind are aligned with divine law, money must obey. Consider the law of electricity. It is invisible yet powerful. You cannot see it, but you can direct it through right use. If you connect the wires correctly, the current flows effortlessly. But if there is a break in the circuit, the light will not shine. So it is with prosperity. The divine current of supply is ever present, but when your mind is filled with fear, doubt, resentment, or guilt about money, you break the spiritual circuit. You cut yourself off from the flow that was meant to sustain you. You may pray, you may work, you may beg, but until you reconnect to the source through right thinking and faith, your supply remains blocked. Money responds to consciousness, not confusion. It obeys spiritual law, not human effort. The one who understands this lives in ease while others toil. He does not chase wealth, for he knows that wealth is his by divine right. He trusts the law of cause and effect, that every generous thought, every act of faith, every word of gratitude plants a seed that must return multiplied. The spiritual man does not serve money, he serves God and money serves him. Every thought you think about money sets a vibration in motion. If you think, asterisk, I never have enough, asterisk, that thought becomes a command to the universe. If you think, asterisk, money flows freely and joyously to me, asterisk, that thought sets in motion a current that draws supply from every direction. The universe is impersonal. It does not decide who deserves wealth. It simply reflects what you declare to be true. The poor man and the rich man live under the same sky, but one sees limitation while the other sees abundance. The difference lies not in opportunity, but in consciousness. We are told that the meek shall inherit the earth, but meekness does not mean weakness. It means teachability. It means surrendering the human will to divine wisdom. When you learn to think in harmony with universal law, money no longer intimidates you. You cease to fear loss because you understand that true supply is spiritual and can never be taken away. You stop clinging to material things because you know that the source of all things is within you. You may lose a job, a client, or a possession, but you cannot lose your connection to infinite supply unless you choose to. The well of abundance never runs dry, only the bucket you bring to it can be empty. The moment you awaken to the truth that prosperity is spiritual, you step into a new rhythm of life. You stop trying to make things happen and begin allowing them to unfold. The divine law of supply does not respond to anxiety, but to assurance. It listens not to your fear, but to your faith. You do not have to struggle to attract money any more than a flower struggles to attract the sun. You simply need to align yourself with the light of truth. The flower does not question whether it is worthy of the sun. It opens and receives. So too must you open your consciousness to receive the good that has always been yours. There are those who pray for wealth yet harbor resentment toward the rich. They wonder why their prayers go unanswered. But resentment is a wall that blocks the flow of prosperity. You cannot attract what you secretly despise. To receive abundance, you must bless it wherever you see it. When you admire the prosperity of others, you harmonize with the same vibration. When you envy it, you push it away. The law of prosperity knows no favoritism. It mirrors your own attitude toward wealth. Money, at its highest vibration, is not just currency. It is divine substance made visible. It moves toward joy, gratitude, and purpose. It is repelled by fear, greed, and guilt. When you see money as sacred energy rather than a symbol of struggle, it begins to obey your faith instead of your fear. You stop asking, "How will I get it?" and begin affirming, "It is already provided." You stop seeing yourself as a beggar of blessings and begin recognizing yourself as a vessel through which divine supply flows. This law does not mean you sit idle or do nothing. It means that your work becomes inspired rather than desperate. You act with confidence rather than panic. You no longer chase opportunities, you attract them. You do not need to outwork others, you need only out-believe them. The most prosperous people are not always the most skilled or the hardest working. They are the ones who have learned to work asterisk with asterisk the law instead of asterisk against asterisk it. They believe in abundance, they expect it, and they refuse to entertain the thought of lack. If you wish to transform your financial life, begin by transforming your consciousness. See yourself as already abundant. Speak words of prosperity, not poverty. Give thanks before the blessing appears. Refuse to let fear dictate your decisions. When your mind and emotions are anchored in faith, the invisible law of supply begins to rearrange your circumstances to match your belief. People will call it luck, but you will know it is divine order. There is no greater security than this truth. Asterisk asterisk, your supply is spiritual, not material. Asterisk asterisk, it cannot be taken, stolen, or destroyed. It is infinite, eternal, and responsive to your belief. You are not a victim of the economy or the marketplace. You are a child of the infinite, and the universe is your storehouse. When you know this, money becomes your servant, not your master. You stop struggling to earn it and start allowing it to flow naturally through you, to you, and around you. When you finally realize that the law of prosperity is spiritual, you will never fear money again. You will handle it with love, circulate it with joy, and attract it with faith. You will see it as a divine expression of gratitude and goodness. You will no longer chase after wealth because you will understand. You have been standing in the river of abundance all along, only waiting to open your hands and let it flow. Every word you speak about money carries the power of creation. Your tongue is the pen of destiny, writing the script of your financial life every day. Most people do not realize that they speak poverty into existence through casual words, careless complaints, and constant worry. They say, "I can't afford this, money doesn't come easily, life is hard," and then wonder why life obeys those very words. The universe is obedient. It mirrors whatever you declare. When you say, "I can't," it becomes a command. When you say, "I can," it becomes a prophecy. Every word is a seed, and those seeds grow according to their nature. Speak of lack, and lack multiplies. Speak of abundance, and abundance blossoms. The law of words is spiritual, exact, and unfailing. Just as gravity never forgets its duty, the law of words never forgets yours. You cannot talk failure and expect success. You cannot complain about lack and expect increase. Words are not empty air. They are forces of vibration that shape your unseen atmosphere. They move through the ethers and attract their kind. Poverty words attract poverty circumstances, while prosperous words attract prosperous conditions. You are never punished for your words, but you are always asterisk asterisk fulfilled asterisk asterisk by them, for life delivers whatever you continually decree. Every thought and word creates a vibration that gathers form. When you say, "Money comes easily to me," the universe begins to arrange itself to make that statement true. It does not question you, it simply obeys. Your words are spiritual commands, and the unseen power behind them is infinite. When you declare a thing, that declaration goes forth and begins drawing everything needed to fulfill it. The delay is only in your faith, not in the law. Many people cancel their blessings with contradiction. They affirm abundance in the morning and complain of lack by noon. Such double-mindedness breaks the vibration, scattering the energy that could have brought prosperity swiftly. The ancient truth is that the word is creative. At the dawn of time, the command was spoken, "Let there be," and there was. The same principle is alive in you. When you speak, you are declaring, "Let there be," into your life. If you say, "Let there be struggle," struggle comes. If you say, "Let there be wealth and freedom," then wealth and freedom take shape. You hold the creative power of the divine in your speech, but you must learn to wield it with purpose. confidence, and gratitude. Idle words produce idle results. Conscious words produce miracles. You must train your tongue to serve your spirit, not your fear. Every time you speak of being broke, every time you complain about bills or curse your finances, you are tightening the chains that hold you in limitation. But when you bless your money, however little it may seem, you set it free to multiply. Say, "This money is blessed. It is growing, expanding, and circulating back to me 100-fold." Even the smallest amount can increase under the power of a spoken blessing. The same energy that created worlds is in your mouth. Use it wisely. The one who speaks abundance does not wait until wealth appears to begin talking of it. They speak abundance because they understand that words are the beginning of manifestation. They call those things that are not as though they were, and soon they become. If you keep saying, "I always have enough," eventually your subconscious accepts it as truth, and your outer world begins to mirror that belief. The invisible becomes visible through repetition, faith, and feeling. The universe has no choice but to align with your consistent declarations. You may ask, "But how can I speak prosperity when I see bills piling up?" The answer is simple. You must speak the truth of the unseen, not the illusion of the moment. Facts are temporary. Truth is eternal. The truth is that you are one with infinite supply, and infinite supply cannot run out. When you align your words with truth rather than fear, you rise above conditions. You begin to govern your world instead of being governed by it. The bills may still come, but they lose their power to disturb you because you know that every need is already met in divine order. Your words are the bridge between the unseen and the seen. They are the spiritual blueprint for your financial house. When your words are filled with faith, love, and expectancy, they build a structure of wealth around you that no circumstance can destroy. When your words are filled with fear, resentment, or doubt, they build walls that block the flow of good. Guard your speech as you would guard your treasure, for indeed, your words are your treasure. They are the currency of creation, and they determine the shape of your experience. Start each day by speaking blessings over your life. I am open and receptive to divine prosperity. Money comes to me in perfect ways. Every dollar I spend returns multiplied. I live in abundance, peace, and freedom. Say it with conviction, not hesitation. The more you affirm, the stronger the vibration becomes. Soon your subconscious mind, which cannot distinguish between truth and falsehood, accepts your words as fact and begins to create accordingly. Life always matches the picture painted by your speech. Remember, the world does not hear what you wish. It hears what you say. The universe does not respond to fear, it responds to faith expressed through words. Every declaration is a command to the infinite. Every affirmation a key to a door that once seemed locked. Speak as one who knows their wealth is already assured. Speak as one who understands that money is obedient to divine law. Speak as if you already have it, and soon you will. For the moment you change your words, you change your world, and money begins to flow toward the voice of faith that called it forth. Fear and faith cannot live in the same house. One must leave before the other can enter. Every moment of your life, you are either inviting fear to rule or allowing faith to reign. When it comes to money, most people live under the shadow of fear. Fear of not having enough, fear of losing what they have, fear of bills, fear of the future. Yet they do not realize that this fear itself is the magnet for lack. What you fear, you draw closer. What you believe, you become. Fear closes the door to abundance. Faith opens it wide. Fear says, "What if I fail?" Faith answers, "You cannot fail when the infinite is your source." Fear is the greatest thief of prosperity. It whispers, "Hold on tightly, for there may not be more." It teaches you to hoard, to cling, to distrust, but in doing so, it blocks the very river that was meant to supply you. When you hold your fist tight, not even blessings can enter. Fear causes men to bury their talents, to shrink from opportunity, to live small when they were meant to live grand. It is a shadow that disguises itself as caution and wisdom, yet underneath it hides disbelief in divine law. The truth is simple. Fear is faith misplaced. It is faith in limitation instead of faith in abundance. You cannot walk forward while looking backward, and you cannot receive miracles while expecting loss. Faith is not a timid hope, it is a knowing. It is the calm assurance that though you do not see the supply, it already exists in the unseen realm. The farmer does not doubt the seed he plants. He knows that though the soil may look empty, the harvest is forming beneath the surface. So too must you trust the law of supply. The moment you release fear and replace it with faith, your circumstances begin to change. The soil of life responds to the seeds of faith faster than you can imagine. Faith is not blind, it is visionary. It sees what fear cannot. It sees beyond bills and bank balances, beyond delays and disappointments. It sees the invisible good preparing to appear. Faith speaks words of confidence when conditions seem dark. It stands in the storm and says, "Peace, be still." Faith walks into empty rooms and declares them full. It looks at the closed door and says, "Another will open." That is the secret of all prosperity, to see with spiritual eyes when physical eyes see lack. For every visible thing was first invisible. Every result was once belief. The universe always mirrors the stronger emotion. If fear dominates, it multiplies loss. If faith dominates, it multiplies gain. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot pray for abundance in the morning and worry about money at night. One cancels the other. Choose this day whom you will serve, faith or fear. The moment you choose faith completely, heaven and earth move to support you. Resources, people, and opportunities align as if by unseen command. The law of prosperity rushes to those who trust it. When you face financial difficulty, the mind races to panic. You think of how, when, where, but these are the wrong questions. The only question faith asks is asterisk, who, asterisk, and the answer is always asterisk, the infinite. Asterisk, when you know the source, you stop worrying about the channel. Your supply can come through a job, a gift, an idea, or a stranger. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you hold the vibration of faith long enough for the unseen to take shape. Fear demands proof before it believes. Faith believes before it sees. That is why faith always wins. Fear ties your hands. It paralyzes action and silences inspiration. Faith, on the other hand, is movement. It acts boldly, guided by intuition, not logic. Fear calculates, faith creates. Fear waits for the perfect condition. Faith makes conditions perfect. When you act in faith, giving when it feels uncomfortable, trusting when it feels uncertain, blessing when it feels barren, you activate divine power. The universe mirrors your courage. It multiplies whatever you release. Every act of faith is a signal to the infinite. Asterisk, I trust you completely. Asterisk, many people misunderstand faith. They think it means pretending or wishing. True faith is deeper, it is certainty. It is a quiet knowing that you are cared for by an intelligent universe that never fails. It is walking in darkness and knowing the light is ahead. It is saying, even though I see lack, I know abundance is already mine. Such faith cannot be shaken by appearances because it stands on truth. And truth is that the law of supply never ceases. The river of abundance never dries up. The only thing that can dam the river is fear. Fear shrinks the soul. It causes you to take less, ask less, expect less. It tells you to be realistic, to settle, to stop dreaming. Faith, however, expands the soul. It says there is more. It dares to believe that every need can be met, every debt cleared, every dream fulfilled. When you stand in faith, even a small act of courage opens the floodgates of provision. The moment you replace fear with faith, your energy changes and money begins to move toward you, not because of magic, but because you have become magnetic to abundance. To overcome fear, you must train your mind daily. Replace every fearful thought with a word of faith. When you think, I can't pay this bill, say instead, divine supply is meeting all my needs now. When you think, I might lose everything, declare, I live in a universe of endless good. Nothing can be lost. Keep affirming until your faith feels stronger than your fear. You cannot think one thing and experience another. The law is exact. As you believe, so shall you receive. Faith is not the absence of challenge, it is the mastery of reaction. When the storm comes, faith does not tremble. It says, this too shall pass. When an unexpected expense arises, faith says, there is more where that came from. When opportunity seems delayed, faith says, divine timing is perfect. Faith turns every obstacle into a stepping stone and every delay into direction. That is why those who walk by faith never truly struggle with money. They live under a higher law. So, when fear knocks at your door again, and it will answer it with faith, do not wrestle with it, replace it. Say aloud, I have faith in divine supply. I am guided, guarded, and provided for. Money flows to me through expected and unexpected ways. Say it until your heart believes it, until your energy changes, until peace replaces panic. Then stand still, for the law will fulfill itself. Fear may have once ruled your finances, but faith will now rule your fortune. Once faith becomes your master, you will never struggle with money again. Imagination is the workshop of the divine, the sacred bridge between the unseen and the seen. Everything that exists in this world, every building, invention, song, fortune, or empire, was first a picture in someone's mind. Before the gold appeared in the vault, it appeared in the imagination. Before prosperity filled the hand, it was conceived in the heart. The greatest truth of wealth is this: imagination creates supply. You are not limited by what you have, but by what you can see. The invisible picture you hold with faith becomes the visible reality you live. Your imagination is not a toy, it is a tool of creation. When you close your eyes and visualize abundance, when you see yourself living freely, giving generously, enjoying peace and plenty, you are impressing that image upon the spiritual substance of the universe. You are painting a blueprint for supply to follow. Every image sustained with belief becomes a magnet that draws the necessary resources, people, and circumstances to bring it forth. What you continually imagine, you begin to attract. What you fearfully imagine, you begin to experience. The imagination does not judge, it obeys the emotion that fuels it. Most people misuse this gift without knowing it. They imagine debt, failure, and scarcity all day long. They rehearse scenes of worry, seeing the bills unpaid, picturing their wallet empty, feeling the pain of not having enough, and then wonder why life keeps proving them right. They have turned their imagination into a mirror of fear instead of a canvas of faith. Yet the same power that imagines lack can imagine abundance. The same mind that creates problems can create miracles. The difference lies in direction and belief. The imagination is the womb of manifestation. It gives birth to the unseen. If you want to change your outer world, begin by reimagining it. See yourself as prosperous. Picture yourself surrounded by beauty, comfort, and opportunity. Feel what it would be like to live in that state of plenty, not someday, but now. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It takes every image as instruction and begins to attract conditions to match it. When you repeatedly imagine wealth with conviction and joy, you plant seeds that must bear fruit. When you imagine prosperity, do not merely see money, see freedom, see peace of mind, see generosity flowing through you. Feel the joy of being a blessing to others. The clearer and more emotional your vision, the faster it materializes. Emotion is the fuel of creation. It charges the image with life. To imagine coldly is to wish. To imagine passionately is to command. The universe responds to the intensity of your inner picture. When you imagine with unwavering faith, your thought becomes substance, your dream becomes destiny. You must learn to discipline your imagination as an artist disciplines his brush. Do not allow it to wander in fear or doubt. When images of lack appear, gently replace them. Picture yourself walking with confidence, paying every debt with ease, receiving unexpected blessings. Visualize opportunities opening effortlessly. Each time you do this, you shift your vibration from worry to expectancy. The mind that imagines good cannot stay poor, for it has already claimed abundance in the unseen. Imagination is the secret door through which divine ideas enter. Many wait for opportunities to appear before they believe, but the visionary creates opportunity by seeing it first. Great fortunes were never made by those who waited. They were made by those who dared to see what others could not. The creative mind knows that supply is infinite, that every problem hides a possibility. When you train your imagination to see solutions instead of shortages, ideas flow, inspiration ignites, and the channels of prosperity open. If you desire wealth, spend time daily in the workshop of imagination. Sit quietly and picture yourself living in harmony with abundance. See the house you love, the work that fulfills you, the people you bless. Feel the peace that comes from financial freedom. Do not strain or force, simply dwell in that vision with gratitude. Gratitude seals the image with faith. Say within yourself, "This is already mine by divine right." When you open your eyes, act as if the unseen has already begun to take shape, because it has. Imagination creates your vibration, and vibration attracts your experience. You cannot hold an image of success in the morning and failure in the evening. Choose one vision and feed it until it becomes your reality. When doubts arise, strengthen your image with affirmations. Asterisk, everything I imagine with faith is now manifesting in divine order. My prosperity is secure, my supply is endless, my good is unfolding now. Asterisk, say it until the image glows with life, until the feeling of certainty replaces the feeling of hope. Understand this, imagination is not daydreaming. It is the act of spiritual creation. It is your partnership with the infinite mind that made all things. When you imagine abundance, you are not pretending, you are aligning. You are tuning yourself to the frequency of wealth that already exists. Just as a radio picks up the station it is tuned to, your life picks up the conditions your imagination sustains. If you dwell on poverty, you stay tuned to it. If you dwell on abundance, you receive its broadcast loud and clear. So, imagine lavishly, fearlessly, and faithfully. Dare to picture yourself as already supplied, already secure, already blessed. See your path lined with golden opportunities. Feel yourself guided by divine intelligence. The more vividly you imagine, the more real it becomes. The outer world must conform to the inner vision. It has no choice. This is the eternal law. Asterisk, asterisk, what you imagine with faith, you shall experience with joy. Asterisk, asterisk, letting go is the key to receiving more. The tighter you hold on to what you have, the less room you create for the universe to fill your hands again. So many people block their own prosperity, not because life withholds anything from them, but because they clutch, worry, and cling to every coin as if it were their last. Fear whispers, if I give, I'll have less. But the law of life says the opposite. If you give, you create room for more. The act of letting go, whether it be money, possessions, resentment, or fear, is the signal that you trust the divine source to sustain you. It is the language of faith, and faith is the only true magnet of supply. Money, like energy, must circulate. When it stops moving, it stagnates. Hoarded money grows heavy. It carries the vibration of fear. But money that flows joyously carries the vibration of life itself. It blesses as it moves and returns multiplied to its source. When you hold back from giving, whether through stinginess or anxiety, you close the channel through which abundance flows. You become like a dam trying to hold back a river that was meant to nourish the land. The river still exists, but it cannot reach you. When you release, you restore the natural rhythm of giving and receiving. You become a participant in the divine economy, where nothing is ever lost and everything multiplies in motion. Giving is not loss, it is creation. Each time you give with a spirit of love, you are planting invisible seeds that must return as visible blessings. The law of circulation is exact. What you send forth in spirit returns to you in kind, pressed down and running over. If you give fearfully, holding back your gift, you receive fear back. But if you give freely, joyfully, and with gratitude, you invite that same energy to come back multiplied. Every generous act sends a signal to the universe. I trust you as my supply, and that trust is always rewarded. When you give to others, you are not taking from yourself, you are giving through yourself. You become a channel for divine supply. The infinite can only flow through open vessels. If your hands are clenched around what you have, there is no room for more. But when your hands are open, they can both give and receive. The more you give, the more capacity you create to receive. It is not the amount that matters. It is the consciousness behind it. Even a small gift, given with love, carries the vibration of prosperity. Letting go does not only mean giving money. It also means releasing attachments, fears, and control. So many people pray for new blessings while still gripping the old. They ask for abundance but refuse to release their resentment, their worry, their distrust. Yet the universe cannot fill a cup that is already full of fear. To receive, you must empty yourself of the belief that you must do it all alone. You must release the need to control every outcome. True prosperity comes when you surrender the how and trust the law of supply to bring you what you need in perfect timing. Letting go is a test of faith. It asks, do you believe that life supports you, even when you can't see how? When you dare to give, to forgive, to release, you demonstrate that belief, and every act of release is met with replenishment. The person who gives freely never truly runs out. They live in a flow that constantly renews itself. But the one who withholds out of fear eventually finds that what they cling to slips away, for nothing can remain in a closed hand. If you give grudgingly, you block your own good. But if you give as a declaration of freedom, I am rich enough to share, you align yourself with infinite supply. The joy of giving is not only in helping others, but in proving to yourself that you are not ruled by fear. You affirm that money is your servant, not your master, and the servant always returns to the one who uses it wisely. Sometimes letting go means releasing something that no longer serves you. A job, a habit, a relationship, or even an identity. You may fear that without it, you will be left with nothing. But each time you let go of the lesser, you make space for the greater. The universe abhors a vacuum. The moment you release what has finished its purpose, something new and better rushes in to take its place. Trust this process. Trust that you cannot outgive the source of all good. When you give, give with joy. Do not give to get, give because you already have. Give because you are part of the endless flow of life, because you know that your supply is spiritual and eternal. Give to bless, not to impress. When your giving is pure, your receiving is inevitable. As you release, say within your heart, I am a channel of divine abundance. All that I give returns to me multiplied. I live in the perfect rhythm of giving and receiving. There is a rhythm to wealth, as there is to breathing. You inhale and exhale, receive and release. If you only inhale, you suffocate. If you only take, you stagnate. But when you breathe in faith and exhale generosity, you live in harmony with divine law. Let go, not in fear, but in confidence. The universe always fills what you empty with something greater. Give freely, release joyfully, and watch how quickly life pours back into your open hands more than you ever dared to imagine. Your words are your wand. Every word you speak is a command to the universe, a decree that shapes the invisible substance of life into visible form. What you speak, you call forth. What you affirm, you magnetize. The power of the spoken word is not mere poetry, it is law. Words carry vibration, and vibration builds worlds. When you say, I am prosperous, you set in motion forces that align with prosperity. When you say, I can't afford it, you summon the energy of lack. The universe listens to every word you speak and answers as you say, so shall it be done unto you. Most people speak carelessly, not realizing that their words are seeds. They plant weeds with their complaints, doubts, and fears, then wonder why their garden bears no fruit. They say, money is hard to come by, and so it becomes hard. They say, I'm always broke, and the law obeys. They repeat, nothing ever works out for me. and life faithfully mirrors that declaration. But you, once you awaken to this truth, must speak differently. You must become the master gardener of your speech, planting words of faith, joy, and abundance until your entire world reflects the harvest of your affirmations. Every time you speak, you are programming your subconscious mind. That inner realm does not question or reason. It only accepts what it hears repeatedly and turns it into form. If you continually say, "I am struggling," your subconscious will faithfully create struggle. But if you say, "I am divinely guided, richly supplied, and always provided for," that becomes your reality. Your words are not idle sounds, they are forces that direct unseen energies. They either open or close the doors of your prosperity. When you speak faith, you align yourself with divine power. When you speak doubt, you align yourself with limitation. You cannot speak of lack and expect abundance any more than you can plant thorns and expect roses. The tongue is a creative tool, and its direction determines your destiny. That is why every great soul has taught the same principle. Speak only what you desire to see. Let your words match your highest vision, not your present condition. Say, "Money flows to me freely and easily." Say, "Everything I need comes to me in perfect timing." Say, "The divine plan of my life is unfolding with precision and joy." Even if your outer world has not yet changed, your inner vibration will. And that vibration will draw the outer into alignment. Words spoken with conviction are creative decrees. They do not beg. They command. They do not hope. They know. Never speak of your lack, your fear, or your trouble. To do so is to breathe life into them. Instead, affirm what you wish to experience until your faith grows stronger than your doubt. When your words are charged with belief, they pierce through resistance like light through darkness. The universe does not respond to whining or worry. It responds to command, calm, confident, and unwavering command. Speak with authority, because you are not separate from the creative power that made all things. That same power breathes through you, waiting for your instruction. Even casual speech has power. Words like "I can't," "I never," or "I'm broke" may seem harmless, but they are magnetic codes. Each time you repeat them, you etch them deeper into your subconscious pattern. The wise person guards their tongue as carefully as their treasure, because both determine their wealth. If you must speak of challenges, speak of them as already conquered. Say, "This situation is resolving beautifully." Say, "Everything is working in my favor." The shift in words creates a shift in energy, and the shift in energy creates a shift in results. Your words should not merely describe your life. They should direct it. You are not here to talk about what is. You are here to call forth what can be. When you speak blessings over your finances, your work, your health, and your relationships, you set invisible angels in motion. You speak life into what was once dormant, and soon your reality begins to obey the tone of your declarations. There is divine precision in the spoken word. When you affirm, "I am now open to receive unlimited abundance," the law of attraction aligns circumstances, ideas, and opportunities to fulfill that statement. When you declare, "Everything I touch prospers," life rearranges itself to match that vibration. Do not worry about the how asterisk. Your only task is to keep your words consistent with what you desire. Begin today to speak as one who already possesses their good. Let no word of fear escape your lips. Let every word you speak be rich with faith and expectancy, for the word, once spoken in belief, becomes flesh, it takes form. And when your words and your faith move as one, the universe has no choice but to obey your command. You will see doors open, paths clear, and blessings multiply, all because you dared to speak life into being. Gratitude is the golden key that unlocks the door to abundance. It is the quiet yet powerful force that transforms lack into plenty, sorrow into joy, and confusion into clarity. To live in gratitude is to live in alignment with divine supply, to stand in the knowing that everything you have and everything you desire is already flowing toward you in perfect rhythm. Gratitude is not just a polite thank you. It is a vibration, a state of being, A declaration to the universe. Asterisk, I already have enough, therefore I am open to receive more. Asterisk, when you are truly grateful, you are not asking, you are affirming. You are not begging for blessings. You are recognizing them everywhere, and that recognition multiplies them. Gratitude turns ordinary moments into miracles. It shifts your focus from what is missing to what is present, and in doing so, it draws more of the present good into your life. The universe mirrors your attention. Whatever you notice expands. When you focus on problems, they grow larger. When you focus on blessings, they multiply. Gratitude is like sunlight. It nurtures the seeds of abundance planted in your heart, helping them grow into full manifestation. Without it, even the richest soil remains dormant. Every grateful thought sends out a signal that harmonizes with abundance. Gratitude says to the universe, I see your goodness, and I trust you completely. That trust is what opens the flow. Many people block their own prosperity by focusing on what they lack, on unpaid bills, unfulfilled dreams, or what others have that they don't. But gratitude cancels out that vibration of lack. It lifts your energy into faith and expectancy. You cannot be grateful and fearful at the same time, for gratitude is the language of faith, and faith is the foundation of abundance. Even in difficult times, gratitude is the bridge that leads you back to peace. When things seem to be falling apart, when the path ahead looks uncertain, stop and give thanks, not because of what has happened, but because you know that even now, divine order is at work. Say within yourself, I thank the universe for the unseen good that is already on its way. That one declaration shifts your vibration from resistance to acceptance, from struggle to flow. Gratitude turns delay into preparation and loss into redirection. It allows you to see that every event, whether joyful or painful, is part of a perfect unfolding. The most powerful people are those who can give thanks before the blessing appears. Anyone can be grateful once they have received what they want, but true mastery is being grateful in advance. When you give thanks for abundance before it manifests, you are telling the universe, I trust your timing. I know it's already mine. This attitude magnetizes your desires faster because you are no longer vibrating in longing or desperation. You are vibrating in completion. The universe always responds to the energy of completion. It says, this one already knows she has it, and therefore it delivers accordingly. Gratitude also purifies the heart. It dissolves jealousy, resentment, and self-pity, all energies that block prosperity. When you are grateful, you cannot envy another's success because you recognize that their blessing proves what is possible for you. Gratitude shifts you from competition to cooperation with life. You stop grasping and start receiving. You begin to realize that abundance is not a limited pie that others can take from. It is an infinite river, and there is room for all to drink. The grateful person walks through life unafraid, because they know the source of their supply can never run dry. Even small acts of gratitude carry great power. When you wake in the morning, give thanks for the breath in your lungs, for the light of a new day, for the roof above you and the opportunities ahead. Say, thank you, life, for another chance to grow, to give, to love, to prosper. Each time you do this, you tune your energy to the frequency of abundance. The day bends to meet that vibration, and synchronicities begin to appear on expected calls, sudden ideas, financial opportunities. Gratitude does not wait for things to change, it changes things. If you want to increase your income, be grateful for the money you already have. Treat every dollar with appreciation, as though it were sacred energy, which it is. When you pay your bills, do not grumble. Instead, give thanks that you have the means to pay them. Say, thank you for this exchange of energy. I release it joyfully, knowing that more will return multiplied. When you buy something, give thanks that you could afford it. When you receive something, give thanks that you were chosen to receive it. The more you bless what you have, the more life blesses you in return. Gratitude also expands your awareness of abundance in unexpected forms. Many believe prosperity is only about money, but gratitude reveals wealth in every area: health, relationships, creativity, peace of mind, purpose. A person may have modest means and yet feel rich, while another may possess fortunes and still feel poor. The difference lies in perception. The grateful person sees beauty in the smallest details: the laughter of a child, the kindness of a stranger, the quiet strength of faith, and that awareness itself is abundance. Whenever you feel stuck or fearful, stop and count your blessings, say them aloud, list them one by one until your heart begins to soften. Gratitude dissolves resistance because it anchors you in the present moment, the only place where true abundance lives. The anxious mind lives in the future, the regretful mind lives in the past, but the grateful mind lives in now, where the flow of supply is constant. In gratitude, you find peace, and in peace, prosperity naturally unfolds. There is divine magic in gratitude. It transforms your vibration faster than any effort or struggle ever could. You can toil endlessly, trying to force results, or you can simply pause, breathe, and give thanks. The moment you do, life begins to rearrange itself in your favor. The right people appear, the right ideas come, the right timing unfolds. Why? Because gratitude tells the universe that you are ready to receive. It tells life, I trust you completely. Say within your heart now, I am grateful for everything I have and everything that is yet to come. I live in a universe of abundance, and I am one with its infinite flow. Every day, I give thanks for the visible and invisible blessings that surround me. I am rich in love, in peace, in opportunity, and in faith. My gratitude multiplies all that is good, and my life is overflowing with divine prosperity. Speak these words daily, not as empty affirmations, but as living truth. Feel them in your bones. Let gratitude rise like a warm light from within you until it colors everything you see. For when your heart beats in gratitude, the universe sings in response, and you will find that life, in all its abundance, has been waiting all along for your simple, powerful words. Thank you. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, the key that unlocks every door the world calls impossible. Faith is not blind hope or empty optimism. It is a knowing beyond sight, a calm certainty that the thing you desire is already done in the unseen. It is the invisible hand that moves mountains, the quiet voice that says, keep going, even when nothing seems to work. Faith is not waiting for proof. It is walking as if proof already exists. It is the soul's confidence that the divine cannot fail. When you live by faith, you are no longer swayed by appearances. You look beyond what your eyes can see and trust what your spirit knows to be true. That abundance, success, and perfect guidance are already yours. The world tells you to believe only what you can see, but spiritual law says the opposite. You will see what you first believe. Everything that exists began as an idea, something invisible. Every home, every fortune, every invention started as a thought held with conviction. The unseen always precedes the seen. So when you hold a vision in faith, you are not imagining fantasy. You are touching the blueprint of creation itself. Faith calls forth the unseen into form. It is the creative power that shapes the raw energy of life into the reality you experience. Faith and fear are opposite forces. Both are belief systems. Faith believes in good, fear believes in evil. Faith expands, fear contracts. Both are creative, but one builds while the other destroys. To live in faith is to stand on solid ground, even when the world shakes. To live in fear is to sink in quicksand, pulled down by every doubt and appearance of lack. When you choose faith, you align with the laws of abundance, because faith knows there is always enough. Faith never begs, it claims. Faith never wonders if it will happen. It simply says it is done. Many people confuse faith with hoping. Hope says, maybe things will work out. Faith says, things are already working out even if I cannot yet see how. Hope waits for evidence. Faith acts as if the evidence is already there. That is why miracles follow faith. They are not coincidences. They are the natural result of unwavering belief. The universe mirrors the energy you hold within. If your inner declaration is, I don't know if I can, the universe hesitates. But if your inner declaration is, it is already mine, the universe rushes to confirm it. Faith is most powerful when tested. Anyone can believe when all is well, but true faith shines when everything seems lost. It is in those moments, when the bills are high, the doors are closed, and the path looks impossible, that you must stand firm and declare, the same power that brought me here will carry me through. Life is not testing you to punish you. It is testing you to strengthen your conviction. Every challenge is an invitation to grow your faith muscle, to prove to yourself that appearances have no real power over the truth of your divine supply. When fear whispers, you're running out, faith replies, I live in infinite abundance. When doubt says, it's too late, faith says, the right time is now. When appearances show lack, faith holds steady and calls forth provision. This unwavering stance creates miracles because energy obeys the strongest vibration. The vibration of faith is like a tuning fork that harmonizes your life with divine order. It calls everything needed into alignment. Faith is not only belief, it is action. It is moving forward even when you cannot see the full staircase. It is saying yes to opportunities that stretch you. It is releasing control and trusting that the next step will appear. The person of faith does not wait for conditions to be perfect. They make a move and allow the universe to meet them halfway. Every step taken in faith multiplies your strength, and every doubt surrendered clears the way for supply to flow. Sometimes the path of faith feels lonely. Others may not understand why you refuse to accept defeat, why you keep affirming abundance when your circumstances seem barren. But you must remember, you are not following the world's law, you are following a higher one. You are walking with unseen forces that guide your every move. When you act in faith, the invisible becomes visible. The phone call comes, the opportunity appears, the situation resolves, and people call it luck, not knowing that it was faith that called it forth all along. Faith is magnetic. It attracts everything it believes in. That is why your affirmations, when spoken in faith, never return void. The moment you declare something with conviction, it begins forming in the unseen. The delay you perceive is not denial, it is preparation. The universe is arranging the perfect timing, the right people, the exact sequence of events to fulfill your declaration. If you lose faith midway, you interrupt that process. But if you hold steady, your good must appear, because the law of creation cannot fail. One of the greatest secrets of prosperity is to *C with the eye of faith. Do not look at your empty wallet. Look at the invisible flow of supply that surrounds you. Do not look at the closed doors. Look at the opportunities preparing to open. Faith redefines reality. It teaches you to look not at what is, but at what can be. It is vision anchored in divine truth rather than human evidence. When you cultivate that inner sight, life bends to your belief. Faith is not something you acquire once. It is something you practice daily. Each time you choose to trust rather than worry, to give rather than withhold, to speak abundance rather than lack, you strengthen your connection to divine law. Faith grows through use. It thrives when exercised. Like a muscle, it becomes powerful through repetition, through standing firm even when your outer world tries to contradict it. You can measure your faith by your peace. When you are truly in faith, you do not struggle, you do not chase, you rest in assurance. You know that what belongs to you cannot pass you by. You stop striving and start allowing. This calm confidence is the highest form of faith because it is trust made real. It is saying, I don't need to see the whole plan. I know the universe has already arranged it perfectly. So speak faith, walk faith, live faith. When you encounter obstacles, declare, "This too is working for my good." When doors close, affirm, "Something greater is opening." When your mind tries to doubt, remind yourself, "The universe is faithful, and I am one with its perfect flow." Faith is your bridge from dream to reality. Walk it with courage. Every time you hold a vision in faith, you write a command upon the fabric of the universe. It must obey, for faith is the language of creation, the vibration of certainty, the heartbeat of abundance. Stand in that power. Let your belief be stronger than your fear, your vision louder than your doubt, your trust deeper than your circumstances. And soon, the invisible will become visible, the unseen will take form, and you will look back in wonder, saying, asterisk, "It all unfolded exactly as I believed." Asterisk, the true secret to everlasting abundance lies in aligning yourself with divine timing. Life is not random. Every event, every opportunity, every delay, every no that turns into a not yet, it all unfolds according to a greater rhythm. When you are in tune with that rhythm, everything flows effortlessly. Money, success, and opportunities come not through struggle, but through alignment. But when you rush, force, or doubt, you step out of that rhythm and create resistance. The universe is never late, it is always precise. It moves with perfect orchestration, even when your eyes cannot yet see the design. The key is to trust the timing, even when it feels slow, and to stay in a state of faith and peace until your desire manifests. Divine timing is not the universe denying you, it is the universe preparing you. Every delay holds purpose. Every moment of waiting refines your character, strengthens your faith, and aligns you with what you truly desire. Sometimes your dream is ready for you, but you are not yet ready for it. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, will not deliver abundance to an unprepared vessel. So it waits patiently until you are expanded enough to receive without fear, doubt, or limitation. When the vibration of your being matches the vibration of your desire, manifestation becomes instantaneous. Until then, the waiting is grace in disguise. Many people grow anxious when things do not happen on their timeline. They compare themselves to others and say, "Why is it taking so long for me?" But comparison clouds your vision and blocks your flow. The flower does not rush to bloom simply because another has opened beside it. It knows that its own season will come, and when it does, it will bloom perfectly. You must do the same. Your timeline is divine. You cannot be late for what belongs to you. What is meant for you cannot be lost. It can only be delayed until you are fully aligned with it. Trusting divine timing requires surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means releasing the need to control every outcome. It means letting go of anxiety, impatience, and the endless question, when? The moment you release that question, you signal to the universe that you trust the process, and when you trust, life responds with precision. The right opportunity arrives, the right person crosses your path, the perfect idea drops into your mind. These things could not come while you were tense or fearful, because fear creates resistance, but peace creates attraction. There is an invisible clock that governs all manifestation, and it runs on divine order. Imagine a seed buried in the soil. You cannot dig it up every day to check its progress. You must trust that it is growing beneath the surface. The roots are forming, even when you cannot see them. Likewise, your dreams are growing in the unseen realm. The right conditions are being arranged. The right timing, the right people, the right environment. When everything is ready, the breakthrough comes suddenly, often when you least expect it. But it is never sudden to the universe. It has been orchestrating it all along. Impatience is the enemy of prosperity because it is rooted in distrust. When you say, "It's taking too long," you are telling the universe, "I don't believe you're working fast enough." But the universe's speed is not your concern. Your only task is to remain in the vibration of faith. Keep your thoughts aligned, your words positive, your actions inspired. Continue to give thanks for what is already unfolding, even before you see it. Gratitude keeps you in the frequency of abundance, and that Frequency magnetizes the manifestation faster than worry ever could. Sometimes divine timing will protect you by delaying what you think you want. You may believe that a certain opportunity, person, or investment is the key to your success, but the universe sees what you cannot. It knows when something would lead to struggle or limitation instead of growth. So it gently redirects you, perhaps through a closed door, a sudden change, or an unexpected detour. At first, you may feel disappointment, but if you trust, you will see that rejection was redirection. You are being saved from something smaller to receive something greater. What you perceive as loss is often divine timing removing what no longer serves your highest good. To live in harmony with divine timing is to live in peace. You stop chasing, striving, and forcing. You move when inspired and rest when guided. You trust the seasons of your life, the planting, the waiting, the blooming. You understand that prosperity is not a race, it is a rhythm. When you walk in step with that rhythm, life becomes effortless, money flows naturally. People appear at the perfect moment, doors open without struggle. The path clears before you because you are no longer pushing, you are allowing. Divine timing also teaches patience as power. Patience is not weakness, it is mastery. It is saying, I know it's on its way, and I refuse to be shaken by appearances. Every moment of patience builds your magnetic strength. It deepens your faith. It shows the universe that you are stable enough to hold great abundance without fear of losing it. Impatience, on the other hand, reveals lack consciousness, the belief that there's not enough time, not enough opportunity, not enough support. But time is infinite and opportunities are endless. The universe will always bring what you need when you are ready to receive it. You can always tell when you are in alignment with divine timing. There is a sense of ease. You no longer feel rushed or anxious. You feel guided. Things begin to click. You receive signs, synchronicities, sudden insights that confirm you are on the right path. You start trusting your intuition more, knowing that each nudge is divine guidance leading you toward your next step. You stop questioning the process and start flowing with it. Life becomes a dance, and you are no longer one trying to lead. You are being led by something infinitely wise and loving. Whenever you feel anxious about timing, take a deep breath and affirm, everything in my life is unfolding in perfect order. I am exactly where I am meant to be. The right opportunities arrive at the right time. Nothing good can ever pass me by. Let these words settle into your heart. The moment you speak them, you re-enter the flow, the tension dissolves and peace returns. And in that peace, manifestations happen quickly and naturally, because peace is the vibration of allowing. Divine timing is love in action. It never withholds, it only prepares, it never punishes, it perfects, it never denies. It delivers at the moment of your highest readiness. When you understand this, you stop struggling to make things happen and start allowing them to happen through you. You live in a state of calm expectancy, knowing that what is meant for you cannot miss you, and what misses you was never meant for you. So walk with faith, patience, and gratitude. Trust the pauses as much as the progress. Know that the universe is never late. It is always precise. When the time is right, everything will unfold faster and more beautifully than you imagined. Until then, hold peace in your heart, act when guided, and give thanks for the unseen good that is already forming. Because the moment you align with divine timing, you stop struggling against life and start flowing with it. And in that flow, abundance becomes effortless, natural, and eternal.